All right, I want to welcome everybody to what I know is going to be an amazing event that could really change the trajectory of your entire life. We'll be featuring some of the most respected and smartest minds in the world of finance, investing, and entrepreneurship, as we always do here on Rich Dad. Now, here to share their unique insight and valuable perspectives on how you can become a successful entrepreneur and why you should. I'm joined by co-founders of the Rich Dad Company, Robert and Kim Kiyosaki, as well as our special guests who are also successful entrepreneurs and Rich Dad success stories, Josh and Lisa Lannon. And I'm looking forward to talking to all of you. But Josh and Lisa, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, thanks, Chris, for having us. I'm glad we weren't part of the SMART introduction. We were just, Rich Dad students. So I'm glad we missed that part of it because I'm definitely not that smart. We're trial and error. And I think that is what you'll learn about entrepreneurism is it's all trial and error. And Lisa and I have been students of Rich Dad since 2001, been personal friends, and Robert and Kim, since 2005, 6. We wrote a book, The Social Capitalist. So it's about social entrepreneurism and building businesses that solve social problems. And I couldn't do it without my better half, Lisa.
Lisa, anything you want to add?
Yeah, just thanks for having us. And yeah, it's been quite the journey in entrepreneurship. You know, we were employees up until 2001 when we started our business. So like Josh said, it's a lot of learning as you go and having great people around you that can help support and teach you.
Yeah, and I just want to say Josh and Lisa are being very, very humble because they've built an incredibly successful business in the high-end drug alcohol rehab world and sold that business. And then they've started a new business. How many years ago?
2015.
2015 for, again, drug, alcohol, PTS for military, first responders, and they're growing that business by leaps and bounds. So they're being very humble, I just want to say.
Well, it's perfect though, because we're going to get into their story and we're going to hear all about that. But it's so true, Josh. I know what you mean. And we talk about this so often on Rich Dad, because the older I get, the more I realize I don't know, and the importance of having people around me who do know. So we're going to talk about that and the importance of having coaches and mentors. So that's perfect. Robert, I want to start with you, obviously, because, every time I talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of my go-tos, biggest takeaways is multiple streams of income. Now, you're an author, an educator, real estate investor, but really at the heart of it, wouldn't you say you're an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a job. So I don't want a job.
I don't know that there is a better time to think about being an entrepreneur. And I talk to folks about that. But I think it's important when you go back and Kim, maybe you can tell us, what was the why? What was really the motivation for being an entrepreneur?
Well, my motivation was pretty simple. My first job out of college was in an advertising agency. And after 9 months, my boss fired me. And I said, no, I quit. And she said, well, if you quit, you don't get 2 weeks severance. I said, okay, so I'm fired. The company hired me back. And this time it was only 6 months and they fired me. And I realized I'm quite stubborn and I really do hate being told what to do, which is the subtitle of my book, Rich Woman. But I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship, but I knew somewhere deep in my soul, I know I wanted to be an entrepreneur. What drove me was freedom, the freedom to have options, have choices, do what I want to do. It certainly wasn't the freedom of not working. It certainly wasn't the freedom of choosing your hours or saying, I only want to work 3 days a week. It has nothing, because as an entrepreneur, you work 24/7, especially as you're building your business. But for me, I just wanted the freedom. And I look to what Robert's just saying, talking about unemployment. A lot of people may be losing their jobs and they don't have those choices. They don't have those options. As an entrepreneur, we can go left, we can go right, we can pivot, we can do whatever we need to do to make things work. And as an employee, most don't have that option. So for me, it was about freedom. It was about having choices. That's what drove me to be an entrepreneur.
And it seems like, everybody has their own story, how they end up in that box. And Robert, I know, I mean, we've talked about this, and again, your point about what's going on in the world right now, that's why I always shake my head, and I can't understand why more people are not focused on entrepreneurship. But I think, as you know, everybody goes at their own pace. Can you go back to the days of the cash flow game and when you got started and what your mindset was at that time? Because most people, they see you now as a success story, but back when you got started, can you talk a little bit about that?
Kim and I created the cash flow game after we're financially free. So that's a very important thing because, most people think, well, I'll just start a business and it'll be fine. Well, the hard facts are 9 out of 10 of them fail. So most startups fail. So the thing that I was impressed with Kim when I met her, she had a job, but she was still working in network marketing and she was learning how to sell. So I was impressed that Kim was, getting the entrepreneurial skills. Anyway, that's my thing. So Kim and I have had a very hard road, right, Kim?
Yes, we have. And I'm going to give you a little credit here, Robert, because when we started, after we were financially free, people kept asking us, how did you do it? How did you do it? And, we say the role of an entrepreneur is to solve a problem. So the problem we saw was there was no financial literacy. There was no financial education in the school system. So we set out to create this board game that basically taught people what Robert and I did to go from the rat race to be financially free. But as the entrepreneur, Robert's like, we need a brochure. We need to promote this game. We need to sell this game. And so he started working on a brochure, and the brochure kept growing and growing and growing. And the final product of this brochure was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And as entrepreneurs, we had no idea that this book would be the success that it's become. We're extremely fortunate, but Robert tapped into and this is from our previous entrepreneurial businesses. He knew the mindset of the person he was talking to, and he tapped into that, and that made all the difference. But yeah, again, you take one road, then you go another road, then you go another road, and eventually, hopefully, you get to where you want to go.
Right, and I don't know many people that start out really with the goal of elevating the financial well-being of humanity, but most people start a little different from a need. And Josh and Lisa, I want to get to your story because I know it's your entrepreneurial journey started from a need. Talk a little bit about how you all got started and some of the benefits of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'll kick it off first. Is that, and that was one of the reasons what attracted us to Robert and Kim, the Rich Dad organization, is they were real teachers. They had experience. They built a successful company. They shared their trials and tribulations. They were transparent about it. And when we saw them, we're like, that's who I want to learn from. Not someone that was polished on stage, that had a great pitch, but was fake outside of that. So we then dove into it. Like, I became a consumer of the Rich Dad products. I studied all the books. We had stuff up on our dry erase boards. We became students again. A topic of money that's not taught in school, right? And I loved it. And we studied. We ended up buying the board game Cash Flow 101 because everything brought us back to that. The funny part about that is I had resistance to it. I could recite all the Rich Dad books. I was like, I could regurgitate it because that's what smart in school is, right? And Lisa's like, all right, tough guy, let's play the board game. We played the board game for the first time. She crushed me. I hated it. And I look at my old scorecard. I had a couple CDs. I wasn't doing anything. And she crushed me. I'm like, this is stupid. I don't want to play the game. But what I learned was that is real. Okay, the books, okay, I had the knowledge, but I didn't have the experience of playing the game with my emotions. So Lisa, we just like, okay, let's play it again to get our reps in before then we took it live. Anything you want to add to that, Lisa?
Yeah, it was, when we talk about Rich Dad and Robert and Kim and Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it touches your heart. It's like an awakening to a door you never knew existed. And I think that's one of the challenges today is, people, they turn a blind eye to learning about money and what's going on in the world because it's so complex. People make it complex, where Rich Dad makes it simple, makes it easier to learn, and having those discussions about it. So yeah, when we played cash flow, it was simple. It was easy, but it unlocked that want for desire to learn. And that was before we really dove in and started our business. It was as we were starting. So it was just a great tool to learn more about the financial statement and what do we got to do next as we, built our business and leaving the world of employees and opening up rehab facilities.
Yeah, and so often we talk about the rich dad mindset because that is what we're talking about here. Lisa, tell me a little about how you all made that leap to jump into the industry that you're in now.
All right, so we were living in Vegas, in the 90s, and Josh ran nightclubs and I was in law enforcement. I was an officer for Las Vegas Police Department. And over a period of years, Josh's drinking got out of control. And 2 months after 9/11 hit, our training changed at the police department. We didn't know it was going to happen. And I was done of dealing with addiction at home and addiction at work. I was unhappy. So I came home one morning after a 12-hour shift and I gave him the ultimatum of rehab or divorce. And thankfully he chose the road to rehab. I took him there that next night.
Well,
and
hold on. She did have a gun when she gave me the ultimatum. Make that clear.
I was in uniform, but yeah. So, when I picked him up after rehab, Josh's dad gave us the book. What was it? The CDs?
Audio series.
Audio series of Choose to Be Rich. And so we listened to that on the way back from California to Vegas. And, as they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And that began our journey into entrepreneurship. We knew Josh couldn't stay working in the nightclubs. It was only a matter of time before he'd start drinking again. So this is the perfect segue into entrepreneurship. We knew what the addict goes through. We know what the families go through. So we wanted to be a part of the solution and help others who were going through the same things.
Yeah, we had personal experience. We knew how bad it was to suffer from addiction, from the user's point of view to the wife or loved one at home wondering, are you going to even come home? So Rich Dad gave us the framework, the BI triangle, the framework to build a business off of the mission, off of team, off of leadership. We didn't know. We weren't taught this stuff. And it really started to frame up our why, our passion, and it gave us a way out.
If I could add to that really quickly, it's what Josh is talking about here. This is the ESB&I, this is book number 2, is a cash flow quadrant. And most people who go to school, get a job. And then S stands for self-employed, small business, or specialist, like a doctor. And these guys have no financial education, they don't need it. E's pay 40% in tax, and S pays about 60%. So when somebody says, I'm going to do a startup, they come from here to here. So I'm going to start a business, you enter this line here. So the B has 500 employees or more, and the I is an inside investor. When you look behind me, that rat race there, these guys invest, in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. We don't touch them. We come onto this side, we can create our own assets here. So we're inside investors. And that's what, my rich dad taught me. And this is Rich Dad's World. And Rich Dad's World is about coaching. And I had my rich dad as a coach. So Kim, when you first met Rich Dad, what did you think?
Nothing of what I envisioned. Nothing at all. It was a tiny little office. He was in an old t-shirt, chomping on a cigar, and he did not look like a wealthy man whatsoever. Exact opposite. And I'm like, this is who you've been meant. This was your mentor. But you could tell by the way he talked, he knew exactly what he was doing, and he was an extremely successful man in Hawaii. Yeah.
I like to say one more. So the purpose, the E's and S's got stuck in that rat race, and they pay the highest taxes. So what Rich Dad World does is coach you to get outside of that onto the fast track. So Kim and I start and we create our own assets. Like we don't buy stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. Those are for chumps, you know what I mean? And that's what's crashing today. But with the mindset and the training, with the coaching, you can go on to the fast track. And that's what Josh and Lisa did. So they could stay small here for a while, but you moved over here, right?
We did. Mhm.
Yeah.
And you said it well too, Robert and Chris, you referred to it, the mindset of an employee and a self-employed person, a business owner, they're totally different mindsets.
Oh,
And so
I think the worst person of all is the smart guy here, the A student, the S's. Their theme song is "Nobody does it better than me." They have to do it all by themselves. And the E is they always say, "I want job security and a steady paycheck and benefits." It's that mindset. And over here is I'm looking for the best possible investment I can get from the inside. And the B says, I'm looking for the best team. So that's what Josh was saying. This here is the BI triangle. So there's leadership, mission, team. That's what B's are looking for. The product is the least important thing. Got the greatest product. It's the least important. Your legal team is important, your attorneys and all that to make this. If you go on to Shark Tank, you watch Shark Tank, the guy says, is your product patented? And if your product is not patented, they can't touch it. And that was my mistake, was I didn't patent my product first time. S stands for the system. So Kim and I, when we created Rich Dad, we pumped all of our books through a system of booksellers throughout the world. And 25 years later, Rich Dad Poor Dad is still #1 in the world. And every editor from a New York publishers turned it down. They said, when it comes to money, you don't know what you're talking about. But if and that's why when I met Kim, she was in network marketing. So the system we tapped into kind of inadvertently was Amway. And then this here stands for communication. So the reason I was impressed with Kim was she was in a network marketing business, learning how to sell. And when I became an entrepreneur, I was still flying for the Marine Corps at the time. And I went to my rich dad, I said, what do I have to do? He says, you got to sell. And my poor dad said, salesmen were scum. So I had that going on the back of my head. When I told my dad, poor dad, I was going to become a salesman, he thought it turned into a criminal. But if you can't communicate, you can't sell, you don't have money, because this here is cash flow. So what we teach people, if you can't sell, the next line is income here. And when I meet an entrepreneur, a small business that's struggling, is because the entrepreneur cannot sell. So as a B and I, on the B and the I side, you've got to have great leadership skills. You got to be a team player, and you got to have a strong mission. So the mission of the Rich Dad Company is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity. That's our drive. And I flew for the U.S. Marine Corps. This here is the aircraft I drove, and we're driven by mission. Is mission driven. That's why Kim knows a lot of my friends are Mormon missionaries. They're driven by mission, because mission is your spirit. And a lot of people have no skills and they have no spirit. So that's what Rich Dad's World is going to coach you on, is how do you develop that? What skills are you missing? And if you don't get the skills, you may as well just hang it up, because you're just going to waste your investors' money.
Well, this is a good time to mention, because we've got folks obviously joining us from all over the world, and hopefully you're taking notes, because what Robert just went through was worth a fortune. And these are the things that Rich Dad coaches and mentors will help you with, the things that you don't think about when you're starting a business. And I do want to talk about, because Robert, I hear your frustration so often because you look around at what's going on in the world. And like me, I want to shake people so often, because I'm thinking, why don't you want to do something else? Why do you feel like you're secure in your job? But we talk about this. When you have banks rewarding that by saying, we'll only give you money if you have a job and you have regular income, our priorities are all out of whack. But I get the same frustration.
I would say, one of the main reasons I think entrepreneurs fail is, again, going back to the mindset. They come in with an employee mindset of safety and security and all of that, not willing to make mistakes. So a lot of, if you're looking at becoming an entrepreneur, you need the mindset of you're going to work hard. You're going to make a ton of mistakes. You're going to never stop learning, and you're going to just keep growing every day. But if you're afraid of making mistakes, if you don't want to get your hands dirty, if you don't want to do what it takes, because what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur, it takes a lot. And you've got to have, that's why you mentioned earlier, Chris, that why, what is going to keep you going? Because if it gets tough and you don't have a strong reason why you're building this business or a great problem you're trying to solve, you're going to quit. So to Robert's point, if you're looking for something safe and secure and not working hard, then entrepreneurship is not the way for you. But I'll tell you this, the rewards, and everybody on this panel will agree with me, the rewards far, far, far outweigh the work, the learning. The learning is what is exciting. It's how we grow. It's all about.
Well, and you know, if you're watching this video right now, you're in that group that wants something more. This is not going to be for everybody. You know, we've talked about this. You have to have employees. Some people are going to be cut out for this, some aren't. If you are watching this video, you've already set yourself apart because you want something more. And I think it's important to recognize that as well, because if you have the desire, the tools are here, right? Josh and Lisa, I mean, when you started out, you didn't start out as business owners. You didn't know what you were doing. So you used tools, and that's what got you to where you are. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I could barely take care of myself. I mean, really. So we got good mentors, we got coaches, we learned a system, we followed the process, we made tons of mistakes, and we kept getting up and doing it again and again and again. You better be prepared to put in the work, because that's what entrepreneur is. It's entrepreneurship, especially being an employer, is not an easy gig. And that's where mission team leadership comes in. And it's so important.
It's the same and it's the same too, to your point, Josh, of raising capital. A lot of entrepreneurs go, I'm going to raise money. I'm going to raise money to start my business. If you're going to take somebody else's money, you better be more responsible with their money than with your own money, because that's a huge responsibility to take somebody money. And if you just go, oh, sorry, we spent it, it's gone. You're never going to raise money again. But to the same point, you know, employees come first, your investors come first.
Yes.
Because they're putting trust in you. And if you break that trust, you're done.
I'm going to plug for Rich Dad's World. The reason we have Rich Dad's World is I would sign up for Rich Dad's World first. You know, I mean, it'll save you a lot of pain, headache, and it's painful process if you're not prepared for it. So at Rich Dad's World, there'll be people talking to you after this, and they'll talk about the program that Rich Dad's World offers for people who want to be entrepreneurs. So anyway, it's not an easy process. I mean, Kim, how many times did we have bad partners?
Well, partners is a huge part of business. And one thing I've learned, we've had good partners, we've had bad partners. One thing I've learned is I want to deal with people I trust.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why Josh and Lisa, why we worked so closely with Josh and Lisa. We all trust each other. We've been down the hard path together, and we know what to expect. So yeah, partners, you know, one thing, and Robert, this was from Frank Crary. Frank was a mentor of ours. He's since passed away. He was a business investor mentor of ours. And one time I was talking to him about bringing on somebody as a partner to the company, and she was an accountant. And he said to me, quote, Kim, never make a partner out of somebody whose services you can buy in the marketplace. And I'll never forget that. So a lot of people, because they don't have the money, they bring in people to, you know, do things for free or for equity, not for free, but for equity in the business. Instead of what the harder way may be to find people that you can pay and keep more of the equity of your own. But that was one, again, we're talking about mentors. He was a great mentor, and I have many, many gems from Frank that I still take with me today. But it's all about having great mentors.
Absolutely. And this is actually a great time, because so often I think, you know, our viewers, you know, they look at you, Robert and Kim, and they hear success stories like Josh and Lisa, and it's hard for them to imagine you starting out. And we are talking about the importance of coaches and mentors. Robert, you just recently realized a dream of yours, and that's ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Now, that's a far cry from where you started out selling nylon Velcro wallets And I just want to talk a little bit about what do you wish you would have known back then when you were starting out? Because obviously it was your first go around or one of your first, and you didn't do everything perfect.
So my first business was a nylon and Velcro surfer bullet business. It was going really, really well, but we kept running out of money because our success was costing money. You have to call inventory. So finally, Stanley, the CFO, an accountant, I said, how much do we need? He says, you need $100,000. I said, so I raised $100,000 and I gave Stanley the check. And I said, Stanley, will this solve the problem? He smiled and he says, yes. Stanley ran off with the money. When you have stuff like that happen to you, you don't get that in business school. That's why I meet these guys with MBAs. So those are character building events. And that's why I show this thing here. This is the US Marine Corps. And we flew as a team of 5. We're as tight as they can come. Went down 3 times in Vietnam. But the team came back alive. And that's what I missed in the real war when I came back to the real world, because you go to these MBA programs, you're taught to cheat, lie, and steal. There is no mission except make money. Making money is a very weak mission. So when I went to the military school, ring knocker, and the first thing we taught is mission. And I meet people who cannot sell, and then they wonder why the business fails. So that's why when you look at the BI triangle, if you cannot communicate, there's no money. And so that's what gets most people here. The product is the least important thing. Mm-hmm. If you can understand that. So when I meet somebody who have a great product, I said, you have a great team? They go, no, because when you're in school, you're taught if you have a team, you're cheating. You have to cooperate. That's why we flew like we're a tight team. I said, the moment I went down 3 times, the moment my engines quit, boom, the team was firing.
And that speaks to your resilience, Robert. Obviously, you've seen a lot over the years, and the good news again for those that are watching, the details of things that Robert's talking about. These are things that coaches and mentors can help you through. The resilience, but you do hit some rough spots. And Josh and Lisa, I want to ask you, how do you deal with those? You all started off with really what could have been a very tragic situation. You turned it around for really just an incredible story. But how do you deal with the struggles? How do you deal with people who doubt you as you're on your journey?
It goes to trusting your instincts and willingness to learn from mistakes, willingness to get great coaches and mentors, willingness to know when it's time to move on and get different coaches and mentors, and trusting that process. It's the roller coaster of entrepreneurship is not easy. It's super hard at times. And it's like, okay, who can I ask? Who can I trust? Who can I learn from? But also knowing if they're a real teacher or not, and giving you the best advice possible. Like when we started, we had a guy, we hired him as our program director to get us through licensing because we didn't know anything about it. And he's like, oh, trust me. That should have been our first clue. We trusted, but we didn't verify. So it was just going through that process, and rather than giving up when it took too long, it's like, nope, we're going to keep plowing through. We're going to keep going through this process to get to what we want, because we know we can solve this problem, and having that willingness to do it was a big thing.
Yeah. And at first, especially in the beginning, like I had enough of my own doubts. I don't need anyone else telling me that they doubt me too. So who you surround yourself with is so important, especially in the beginning, because you're pretty fragile. I was. And as you start to grow and get a little bit of momentum and a little bit of success, I was able to step back and say, okay, this person that's doubting me, have they ever done it before? Usually not. They're just naysayers. They've never accomplished what I'm trying to do. So it's like, all right, thank you for sharing. Fuck off. Just to be very aware of, be careful of who you're getting advice or input from. If they haven't done what you've done, then, hey, just take it with a grain of salt. But if they have, listen to them. listen to them. All right, what worked for you, what didn't work, and be your own person and make your own choices.
Yeah. Listen, that's why we call it the Rich Dad world. This is where you need to live, in the Rich Dad world. It's the best place to be. Kim, I want to ask you, I mean, when somebody wants to be an entrepreneur, so often you hear, you should solve a problem. That's the way this happens. How does a viewer know if they've got a good idea for a product or service?
Well, again, it goes back to the purpose of an entrepreneur is to solve problems. So one of our teachers, and I never met the gentleman, Robert introduced me to his work, is our Buckminster Fuller. And one of the principles we followed is a principle called, it's a strange name, it's called angular redundancy. But basically what it says is what needs to be done out there that nobody's doing that you can do. So that's always that was always the foundation of the companies that Robert and I started. You don't need another gas powered car. We got enough of those. You don't need another construction company. We got enough of those. So part of the question is, what is the problem that your product is solving? What problem is your product solving that nobody else is doing? If it's just another rendition of another product that's already out there, then I wouldn't personally waste my time. But that's always been the mindset for us.
What Kim is talking about angular redundancy, like I see there's like 4 corners and there's 4 gas stations on them. You don't need 4 gas stations, But a lot of people say, well, that gas station is successful, so they put another gas station there. And so that's angular redundancy. So what Kim is talking about here is just be a little bit more creative and do something nobody else is doing. And then put your team together. And then maybe you have a chance.
And let me say this too about team. So, you have your entrepreneur, self-employed, the quadrant, business owner, investor. The toughest transition is going from self-employed to business owner. And the reason for that is because the self-employed person went to school, got the A's, nobody can do it better. They don't trust somebody else to come in and do it better. So they always have to do it by themselves. And that again is a mindset shift. So with good mentors and good teachers to get you through that, to get you to the other side, because the business owner, it's all about team and systems. And I can speak from a lot of experience in terms of doing it by myself versus having a team that I trust and that we work together. And working together with a team, that's where magic happens. Mm-hmm. Because I'll sit down with my team. I know Josh and Lisa, you do the same thing. You have a problem you're looking at, and all of a sudden the ideas start coming. The idea that comes out is going to be so much better than any idea I could have by myself. So creating that team is really, really important. And that takes time. When Robert and I started, it was just the 2 of us. And then over time, your business grows. You need more players. You need the bookkeeper. You need the accountant. You need the attorney. You need all these people. But when you're starting out, it's going to be just you. So the more mentors and teachers you can glean from, and to Josh's point, real teachers, not fake teachers, people that are really doing what it is you want to do. That's the best. If there is such a fast track, that's the fast track.
Right. And that team is important, not only to coach you through this journey, but Josh, to your point, listen, we live in a world of negativity. And Robert, to your point, we also live in a world of entitlement where the mindset is not the rich dad mindset for the most part. There's a lot of people that have drank the Kool-Aid and they bought into that, and they can't understand the language we're speaking. But for those folks that are watching again all over the world, Josh and Lisa, I want to ask you, do you have any words of encouragement? Because we've got folks that are just starting out, some that are a little bit further into their journey. What would you say to encourage them?
Well, kind of tying it to what we're talking about a little bit with Shark Tank, is if you have a good product, but you don't have a good team, you don't have like a mission, like that's not your thing, then go to Shark Tank and pitch it and let them put their business around your product and take it off. Because some people don't have that skills. Or if you're an entrepreneur says, I understand the BI triangle, I understand where my product sits on that triangle, and I can build a team and I can lead it, then drive that. So be aware of your own personal limitations as well as fit where you see appropriate and team with those that you see. Robert's holding up the BI triangle. It is a key principle in our success, and I always go back to it.
And this here is this is military school because of the thing I learned at the academy mission. So what the thing is, find a real partner that somebody's actually doing what they say they can do. And the reason I don't like professors, because my poor dad was a professor, they talk about something, but they can't do it.
Yeah. I feel like every time, Robert, you bring those points up, we should have a flashing sign that says coaches and mentors. Again, it's one more reason why you should have a team in your corner helping you out. I love when we have these conversations, but unfortunately the time goes so quick. We've got to wrap up. Final words, Josh and Lisa, what would you say? Any final words?
Kick it off, Lisa.
Yeah, just find good coaches and mentors. We went through the Rich Dad coaching program, and be open to personal development. You got to work on yourself as well, because when those hits come, it's how are you going to handle them? How are you going to move forward? So working on yourself is big too when it comes to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, we went through coaching twice, and huge supporter of Rich Dad World.
A couple things. One is not one of us started as, with some silver spoon, or not even an education in business. I had a degree in business from college, but I learned nothing about entrepreneurship, much less business. So we all started with nothing. Even when I met Robert, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I said, I haven't been around entrepreneurs. I don't know what it takes. I don't know how to do it. And he said, well, I've started many businesses and all of my friends are entrepreneurs. And I'm like, that's a key. So you can start with no education, with no knowledge of business. You can start, but I would say this too. If you're going to start, I think it starts with the drive, with more the personal meaning to you, it much more than the product. Everybody can create a product, but if you don't have that drive and that will to win and do whatever it takes, if that's not part of your makeup, then that might not be for you. If it is part of your makeup, I think it starts there, and then the product comes from that.
I would do what Josh and Lisa did, is join Rich Dad's World and understand what you're facing, and be able to get a coach to go through it. Rich Dad was my coach. And
that's what a great mentor and teacher can show you, people that have been down that path, what it really takes. Because I know when I started as an entrepreneur, I had no idea all the obstacles and struggles and things that I would go to. Also, all the highs. There was a lot of highs as well. But I didn't have a reality on what it really took. I just thought working for myself, then I'm my own boss and that it's going to be great. But the reality of what it takes is really, really important. And you got to decide, do you want to take on that role or not? That might be the first step.
I want to thank everybody on the panel today. It was a great discussion, some great information about becoming an entrepreneur. And I want to tell all of you, all the viewers, make sure you stay tuned to hear more about how to continue your financial education.
That's the smartest thing you can do, is listen to what Rich Dad's World is going to say. And it would save you a lot of pain and misery, right, Josh and Lisa?
Absolutely.
It'll save you a lot of pain and misery. That's worth saving some pain and misery.
And make sure that you stay tuned to hear more about how to continue your financial education from Rich Dad World. Stick around.
Wow, that was incredible. What a powerful event. Now let's talk about how you can turn that information into a plan of action to accomplish your personal entrepreneurial dreams. Robert's agreed to join me for this upcoming segment to answer your questions and help you get started. Now, I'm going to give Robert a few minutes to get settled in before answering questions. I'm going to share with you the details about his proven step-by-step program that will show you how to start, run, and grow your business. Now, while he gets ready, let me say, I hope you're all feeling motivated to get out of the rat race once and for all and take your next step today. Robert and I have complete confidence in your ability to do this, because at the end of the day, most people don't seek out financial or business education like you're doing right now. Only the most successful people do that. And by showing up here today to seek out a better life, you've shown that you're ready to do whatever it takes to be successful. Now, what we're about to share with you is so exclusive, it's limited to only the first 100 people who respond during the airing of this event. Robert's so passionate about elevating the financial well-being of humanity, He's giving away 6 free coaching sessions. That's right, 6, with his personally trained coaches, but only to the first 100 of you who want to get started today. Hopefully, after today's session, you're going to realize how simple it is to succeed if you just follow the path of those who've already done what you're trying to do. Listen, that's why Robert's giving away 6 free coaching sessions today. This is an unadvertised special bonus from Robert. You may never see this free coaching offer ever again. This opportunity is designed to help you finally achieve financial independence and begin immediately increasing your monthly cash flow. It's the easiest and fastest way to achieve the results you want and avoid common mistakes most entrepreneurs make. Okay, and remember, as promised, Robert's going to stick around and answer your questions and share his advice to help you take your next steps. Plus, stay tuned for a special bonus segment so you can take what you've learned today and end up miles ahead of what most people achieve financially in their lifetime. And I certainly hope you do. I took action myself more than 20 years ago and did it with no experience or no blueprint. I had only read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, so I knew it was possible. You don't need to waste your time, energy, and hard-earned money the way that I did. Now you can take your idea and make your dream a reality in a fraction of the time it took me. 20 years ago, I wish I had what Robert and his team have available for you today. An exclusive invitation to secure your personal and financial freedom. Now, you can implement Robert's Entrepreneur Blueprint program and exit the rat race once and for all. This first-of-its-kind online training system will walk you through the exact steps to start, run, and grow your business. Becoming an entrepreneur is one of the most rewarding and lucrative decisions you'll ever make. Robert's goal is to empower motivated entrepreneurs to create successful businesses that don't merely survive, but thrive, just like he has many times. So if you're serious about finally getting out of the rat race, if you want a reliable, proven blueprint that can make your personal and financial freedom attainable faster than you ever thought possible, if you want a proven plan to either establish a new business or strengthen your existing business and guarantee your success, and if you want to take the risky guesswork out of running a successful business, then the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint is specifically for you. In order to fulfill Robert's mission to elevate the financial well-being of humanity, he led his team to develop an innovative, step-by-step system that lays out exactly what to do to achieve financial independence as an entrepreneur. It's literally a blueprint for building a bridge to financial freedom the Rich Dad way. You're going to avoid costly mistakes and determine which type of business is right for you. After you've gone through this step-by-step system, you'll know exactly how to build a successful business the Rich Dad way. The education and training material you'll have access to in the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program has already made such a massive difference in so many people's lives. That's because it's the same material Robert and his experts have used for years. They've used it to help people become successful entrepreneurs. Take David, for example. He had started a business, but began to see amazing results once he started working in the program. He says, I had initial plans for my business. However, working closely with the Rich Dad team, the company began to grow in leaps and bounds. David H., United Kingdom. Here's another one. I now feel I can push forward in my next step towards achieving financial freedom and accomplishing my dreams. I'm taking small steps, but it all helps towards my dream to quit work and create a successful business. I wouldn't have done these things had I not taken the program. Zindy M., Kent, UK. Wow, I can't help but get excited when I hear results like that. And the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program is going to make them attainable for you too. This system comes to you with 12 comprehensive training modules you can access anytime, featuring Robert's personally trained coaches. You'll learn every profit-making strategy you need to know to start, run, and grow your business. You'll be shown step-by-step how to launch your business even if you have little or no money, no experience, and you have a full-time job. Let me quickly show you what you're going to learn in each module. In module number 1, the BI triangle, You'll learn how to leverage Robert's tested business model, the BI triangle, to ensure your business contains all 8 components. When a business isn't successful, it's almost always because one of these components is missing. In module number 2, writing a winning business plan, you'll learn how to build a solid and persuasive business plan you can use when securing investors. This piece is critical to the success of any business and often one that people miss. Module number 3 is called creating your executive summary, and it's essential for communicating your plan to investors, partners, and family. It creates the credibility you need for your vision. It will define the key elements of your business that will make it successful. This is a critical step to go from vision to execution. In module number 4, defining the market opportunity, you'll define the size and how to cost-effectively reach the most profitable segments of your target market. In module number 5, defining your value proposition, we'll show you how to create your unique value proposition to your target audience to maximize your profit potential. This ultimately makes your product or service attractive to your ideal customer. In module number 6, assessing your competition, you'll learn how to enhance your business strategy to make sure you stand out from your competition and fill a need that's missing from your market. Module number 7, developing your marketing and sales plans. You're going to define your brand, marketing, and sales strategies. This is critical to creating a profitable, scalable business for years to come. Plus, we've included some powerful digital marketing resources from some of the top marketing minds in the world to help ensure your marketing success. In module number 8, recruiting your team members, you'll successfully identify and recruit your team. Your team is essential to taking your business to the next level. All successful businesses require a team. As Robert has said many times, you can't do everything on your own. Module number 9, defining your business model, will teach you to define your core business model and critical success factors. This will help you increase your profitability and long-term probability of success. In module number 10, developing your revenue plan, you will define your specific revenue sources so that you can stay on track to deliver the net profits you desire. Module number 11 is an important one. It's called developing your budget, and it will walk you through how to define your costs and correlate those to your revenue plan. This is essentially your blueprint for running your day-to-day business operations and managing risk. And ultimately, module number 12, defining your investment and exit strategy, will walk you through how to identify and evaluate potential investors and guarantee the maximum return on your investment. Robert's experts will walk you through everything to move beyond business theory and implement proven strategies to achieve maximum results. You're also going to have instant access to Robert's step-by-step entrepreneur blueprint curriculum, which includes in-depth exercises and training materials. This is going to allow you to map out your exact plan of action, so you'll have a completely unique winning business plan designed the Rich Dad way for your specific market and your unique value proposition. So remember, immediately after you join today, you're going to receive an email from the Rich Dad team giving you instant access to the entire Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program. Inside our secure, members-only site, you'll have immediate access to the highest quality training material we believe exists on the market today. So you can keep coming back to this again and again to keep your business thriving. You're getting the exact system Robert's developed to effectively launch your new business or significantly grow your existing business, obtain the necessary financing or funding to launch or grow your business, eliminate the easily avoidable but all too common mistakes that cost amateur entrepreneurs thousands of dollars and endless stress, become financially free and independent so you can stop worrying and live life the way that you've always wanted. Maybe that just means taking that dream vacation with your family. Or maybe it means walking away from your 9-to-5 so you can finally have the flexibility to spend more time with the people that matter most while pursuing your passion. And all of it is put together for you in a way that will make you feel as if Robert's team of experts were standing right beside you, showing you what to do every step of the way. You can do this even if you have no experience, even if you don't have a ton of money or good credit, and even if you feel like you don't have the spare time to get started. Now let's hear from another Rich Dad success story who took action and has seen amazing results.
Hello, Robert and Kim. And when I started reading Robert's books, I thought this stuff is amazing. This makes so much sense to me. Why doesn't everybody tell me about this? I did 15 years in corporate America, working for some big companies. I lost my job. It's time for me to mind my own business. I want to start going off on my own, and we looked into franchising. I always loved coffee shops. Big B Coffee is now a franchise that is in 13 states. And I used to sit in store number 1. So the brand always stuck with me. And that was the first franchise that I actually looked into when I started going down this road of entrepreneurship. When I started my first store, when I opened my first store, that's when I had, just before then, I had taken Robert's first class. So Robert's one of his coaching classes. I have 4 active locations, and I have a 5th one coming. The 5th store that I'm going into right now is a commercial building that I bought. It's actually an old Chase Bank. And this Chase Bank is actually the first place, because I'm a member of Chase Bank, and I went to them for my very first business loan to buy my 2nd store, and they turned me down. And now I'm buying this building. And now I'll see those guys around town like, hey, Charles, how's work going? I'm like, I don't work anymore. You guys work.
Yeah.
I am living the dream. I love what I'm doing.
Wow, that is an amazing story. Again, the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program is going to show you how you can achieve these same kinds of results. And because you'll have complete access to the training, you can use it to accelerate your results as you implement your personalized business plan. Now, I think the question on everyone's mind at this point is, Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program cost? Well, first, we believe the financial education you'll receive exceeds virtually any other business seminar or college course you're going to find in the market. And there are live in-person investing seminars charging as much as $30,000 for teaching similar kinds of entrepreneurial training. Not only are these seminars expensive, they're inconvenient. You have the added cost of travel, not to mention the time spent away from your family, and then you have to cram into some hotel room and listen to speakers drone on for hours. If you attend, I hope you're great at taking notes, because you only get to hear the information once. You don't get to come back again and again in a convenient online format like Rich Dad's Entrepreneur Blueprint. That's why Robert created the new Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program, so everyone could afford the professional support they need to finally achieve the success they've always dreamed of. And the great news is, Robert's newest step-by-step system won't cost you anywhere near $30,000. To make sure everyone can afford the training and education necessary to start, run, and grow your business, Robert is making his new Rich Dad Entrepreneur program available today only to the first 100 students at an exclusive introductory special price. This offer is only valid during this strategy session and only to the first 100 students who act right now. To take advantage of the exclusive introductory offer for the first 100 students and get instant access to the entire Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program, just click the button that says, "Yes, I want in." You'll enter your information into our secure system, and you'll get an email giving you immediate access. Robert is so passionate about helping students who help themselves, he's rewarding your decision to take action and invest in your financial freedom with 3 incredible bonuses available exclusively to those attending this strategy session. The first bonus is called the Entrepreneur Success Profile, and it was created by the world-renowned Myers-Briggs. This personalized profile will show you that it really doesn't matter what kind of personality you have. Whether you're introverted or extroverted, there are proven techniques to leverage your strengths to strategize and implement a proven plan to achieve your business goals. This free bonus has a value of $195. So that means you're going to get the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program and the Entrepreneur Success Profile, which is already a total value of over $3,000. Of course, you'll be getting it at a fraction of that, but that's not all you're going to get. Let's talk about bonus number 2. Entrepreneurs are the busiest people on earth. You don't have time to keep up with everything that can impact your business, favorably or even unfavorably. Your second free bonus solves this issue. It's the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Newsletter. It can make or save you thousands of dollars by keeping you abreast of the best strategies and latest trends to start, run, and grow your business. You'll be getting 6 months of this newsletter absolutely free. This bonus alone has a value of $162. Bonus number 3 is called Presenting Your Plan. You'll learn how to raise all the capital you need to take your business to the next level. This is likely to be one of the most exciting and fulfilling times that you'll ever have as a business owner. This is a critically important piece to ensure you get the funding needed to start or expand your business. This is an area where most entrepreneurs fail. This free bonus prepares you to address potential problems long before they arise, helping ensure you raise all the capital you require in order to succeed. This has a value of $200. Now, to recap, that means you're going to get the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program, the Entrepreneur Success Profile created by Myers-Briggs, the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Newsletter, and the bonus module on presenting your plan. Sold separately, this would easily have a value of over $3,000, but you're going to get them for a fraction of that. This is the only time we've ever offered this kind of training and this much value at this exclusive bargain price. And it's only available right here on this strategy session to the first 100 students. After we finish the Q&A with Robert, this opportunity will disappear, and we may not ever offer it again at this price. So I want you to imagine for a moment, if all this did was to finally give you the nudge you need to get out of the rat race and start making some serious progress towards achieving financial freedom, would it be worth it? Or what if it gave you the flexibility to start setting your own schedule so you can spend more time with the people who matter most to you? How would it feel to take the day off just because you feel like it? Would that be worth it? Or how about simply having peace of mind that your family's financial future is secure? What would it be worth to never worry about what things might look like 5 or 10 years from now because of your decision today? It would absolutely be worth it, right? Now, when we talk in those terms, I know it can sound like a dream, like something that's always going to be out of your reach, but it's not. Let me share some real-life examples of successful entrepreneurs who started with little to nothing, and now they're living the entrepreneurial dream. Sarah Blakely, for example, the founder of Spanx. She started her career selling fax machines door to door. After cutting the feet off of her pantyhose to create a smoother line under her clothes, she developed the idea for Spanx, a women's shapewear company that is now worth over $1 billion. Now that's what I call a million or $1 billion idea. Another example is Kevin Plank. Now, you may not be familiar with his name, but surely you know his brand. He started Under Armour in his grandmother's basement with just $40 and went on to build it into a multi-billion-dollar sportswear company. Another great example of a successful entrepreneur that didn't have an easy start is Jan Koum. He moved to the US from the Ukraine as a teenager and struggled to make ends meet. After teaching himself programming, he co-founded WhatsApp, a mobile messaging app that was sold to Facebook for $19 billion. These individuals show that with determination, hard work, and a good idea, you can achieve great success as an entrepreneur, even when starting with next to nothing. And you can achieve this level of success even faster by utilizing Robert's proven strategies in the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint. Even Robert was a C student and admits he wasn't the best at writing. In fact, he and Kim were once living in their car, but they believed they could achieve something great. So they went on to create the cash flow board game. And then Robert wrote the #1 best-selling personal finance book of all time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the rest is history. Do you see how exciting this is? I hope you feel the same as I do about this incredible life-changing opportunity that virtually anyone can achieve with a little professional guidance from Rich Dad. And don't forget why you're doing this: to stop living paycheck to paycheck, to stop relying on your employer or the government, and to get the freedom to spend your time doing what's most important to you. This makes your small investment in yourself here today a no-brainer. What you have in front of you today is exactly the solution I wish I had when I started back in 1997. Robert's Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program means that you don't need to suffer through the expensive trial and error of going it alone. This program is going to show you step by step how you can start, run, and grow your business in this next year, even if you feel like you don't have enough money, enough experience, or even enough time. All the hard work has been done for you. It can finally get you out of the rat race once and for all. Now, I know many of you are familiar with Robert and Rich Dad. You've read a book or two, and you've seen the real results the Rich Dad way has achieved for thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs around the world. But I know for some of you, this is our first time meeting and getting to know each other. Maybe you're much newer to Rich Dad. And while Robert and I know we've given you incredible value by taking you deeper into the secrets of building a successful business today, we want to make sure this decision to invest in your financial future is as easy as possible. Robert is so confident anyone can succeed using his Entrepreneur Blueprint program. He wants to give you what is truly a risk-free investment for making the bold decision to take control of your life right now. That's why Robert is backing this program with a 30-day money-back guarantee. We're so confident this is going to help you start and grow your business quickly. We're removing all the risk. So if you decide for any reason this isn't for you, just let the Rich Dad team know in the first 30 days and you'll receive a full refund with no hassles and no questions. This gives you plenty of time to jump into the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program and see just how game-changing it can be for your income and your lifestyle. That's how confident we are that this will have a profound impact on your life. Also, for those of you who are excited to dive into the training, but maybe you're a little bit hesitant or afraid of getting stuck, we want to make this as simple as possible for you also. That's why we're making a special, unadvertised bonus available today only for the first 100 students, worth $1,695, that will give you on-demand, comprehensive recorded coaching sessions. Robert's personally trained business experts are going to walk you through every profit-making strategy you need to know. And because they're pre-recorded, you can start, stop, and review these at your own pace. And remember, these are experienced entrepreneurs. Just click Yes, I Want In to learn more. Now, for those of you who are serious and committed to making this happen, you might want to consider using Robert's unlimited live personal coaching services. This literally gives you one-on-one, unlimited live access to Robert's personally trained coaches to help you overcome every obstacle for 6 months. That means you can speak with a Rich Dad Entrepreneur coach as many times as you need to become successful. This is truly an unprecedented level of access. This isn't for everyone watching today. It's very exclusive due to the limited number of certified Rich Dad coaches, and it's only available to the first 27 students. All you have to do if you want one-on-one unlimited live coaching is select the Elite VIP option on the checkout page. Now, if there's one thing I know from experience, if you want to be your own boss, if you really want to get out of the rat race, you have to take action. You have to make a choice. You can choose to do nothing, continuing on your current path and hope for the best, or you can make the choice that separates amateurs from professionals. You can choose to follow a proven system made by a team invested in your success. You can learn step by step exactly what to do from successful entrepreneurs who've already accomplished the things that you want to accomplish. So here's your chance. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. If you're in, simply click the button and get started risk-free. With Robert's proven Entrepreneur Blueprint program, you get everything you need to launch or grow your business and finally get out of the rat race. You can become a rich dad success story yourself, no matter what your current situation is. If you're really serious and ready to take the next step to achieve true financial independence, there's never been a better, more convenient, simpler way to do it. This how-to training will literally walk you through step by step how to start, run, and grow your business using Robert's proven wealth building strategies. But if you really want this, you have to step up right now. Imagine for a moment how your life would improve if you didn't have to work for someone else for the rest of your life. If all the system did was to get your business off the ground or to the next level, that's exactly what you'd get. Not to mention the long-term equity and profits you'd accumulate. That alone would be worth the modest investment today, wouldn't it? The program pricing and bonuses Robert and his team have assembled are not available to the general public, and they may never be offered again at this low event price. The bonuses and special event pricing are going to disappear after we end our time here together today. If you really want to achieve financial freedom for yourself that you don't have today, I urge you not to hesitate another second and risk missing out on this amazing opportunity. So Robert is standing by for Q&A. But before we get into questions, let me recap what your opportunity is today. Instant access to Robert's cutting-edge Entrepreneur Blueprint program. Plus, bonus number 1, the Entrepreneur Success Profile backed by world-renowned Myers-Briggs. Bonus number 2, the Rich Dad Entrepreneur Newsletter. Bonus number 3, the Presenting Your Plan bonus module. And don't forget about today's unadvertised special bonus, on-demand coaching sessions with Robert's entrepreneur coaches. This is a total value of over $5,000, which you can get today if you're one of the first 100 students for an exclusive introductory special price. Just click Yes, I Want In to learn more. Robert is so confident in this program that he's backed it with his 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied, he will refund the entire purchase price of your program. Okay, now remember, this special offer is only good until the end of this strategy session today, and it looks like we're nearing the end of our scheduled time together. So as we begin the question and answer session, let's start a timer for 15 minutes. And once the time runs out, this opportunity will expire. Again, to get instant access to the entire Rich Dad Entrepreneur Blueprint program and all of the free bonuses, simply click the button that says, Yes, I Want In. And don't forget, we have Robert's Entrepreneur Companion Guide on the page when you hit Yes, I Want In. Do you have anything else, Robert, before we get started?
So, even if you have no skill at all, you're afraid of selling, you're afraid of all these things, and you're interested in becoming an entrepreneur, this is the course you've been waiting for. And if you're already an experienced entrepreneur and you want to grow your business, this is the course you've been waiting for.
All right, we have a lot of people on the session right now, and because we have a lot of crossover in the questions, Robert's team has lumped them together so that we can get through as many as possible. But we are limited on time, so let's get started. Okay, the first question, looks like several of you have asked some version of this. What's the best way to start or grow a business when you have little to no money? That's a great question. And the answer is by following the advice of those that have already been there and using the strategies from people who've already done it. But it's critical to ensure you have the right education before you get started.
So as a young person, I started out just learning how to sell, And then I ventured out. In 1978, I started raising capital. My first business was a nylon and Velcro surfer wallet business. We raised $27,000. So this is more than just getting a loan or raising a few bucks. This is about how to build a business. Like an entrepreneur, this whole thing is how do you build a structure that continually sucks capital back into the company.
Okay, the next one is, how do you get over your fear in starting a business, or maybe you don't even know where to start?
It doesn't make a difference if you're just a beginner or you're very experienced. Though our teaching style, the Rich Dad teaching style, will hold all people into this program.
Listen, I totally understand this because I've been there, and we're here to help you. Robert's personally trained team of experienced entrepreneurs will help you get from where you are today to where you want to be, and it's guaranteed to work or your money back. Here's a great question. I've already read your books. Why would I need to also invest in an additional training program before starting my business? Unfortunately, Robert's exclusive, personally trained team of expert entrepreneurs can't help everyone watching right now. There are just too many of you. But if you are one of those fortunate people who takes action today, you'll have immediate access to step-by-step guidance on how to start, run, and grow a successful business the Rich Dad way.
You should have a teacher guiding you along this place, not a fake teacher, a real teacher.
All right, this one says, I'm so busy with work and family, what if I don't have the time to do this? Yeah, I remember saying that myself. Haven't we heard that 1,000 times? Look, life isn't going to get less busy. That isn't the real problem. The real problem is people get overwhelmed not knowing where to start. Listen, we're really only talking about 1 or 2 hours a day. You just need to follow Robert's step-by-step entrepreneur blueprint program and apply yourself consistently.
We have many great programs, great instructors, things that I've used myself. I've worked on them. They work, but you have to do the work.
Here's another question. What if my spouse doesn't want to do this? How can I do this if I don't have their support? Well, that's why we give you the 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee, which makes this a no-brainer. Again, at some point, you have to decide that you're going to stop living in fear and finally take a step outside of your comfort zone.
I'm not going to sell you on this. Either you're interested in becoming an entrepreneur, or you're not.
Now, as we've mentioned, this isn't for everyone, but it's been great to see so many of you taking advantage of this opportunity. The UK, Australia, Canada, US, Mexico, looks like there's going to be a lot of people achieving their entrepreneurial dreams. Now, we only have a little bit more time left. The fact is, this group is going to go on to accomplish big things whether you join or not. But this is your chance to finally step up and change the course of the rest of your life. Listen, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Where do you want to be 6, 9, 12 months from now? Wishing you had taken action or cashing checks from your business? Why not you? And why not now? Finding your happiness takes guts. Why can't this be the moment that you change your path and get the results you know are possible? Robert, do you have any final words for our viewers?
So all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is what you do from tomorrow on will be determined by what you study, what you learn today. So again, I'm on it because I want you to make it. I bless these programs, but you still have to do the work.
So what we're offering here today is Robert's cutting-edge Entrepreneur Blueprint program, the Entrepreneur Success Profile, the bonus module presenting your plan, and the unadvertised bonus of on-demand coaching sessions. A total value of over $5,000, which you can get today for an exclusive introductory special price. But hurry. Remember, this offer is only good for the first 100 new clients. Just click yes, I want in to learn more. And remember, you have an exclusive, risk-free, 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll refund the entire purchase price of your program. I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. We've really enjoyed our time together and the opportunity to see you take real action. Now, I see that we've nearly met full capacity, so don't miss out on this special event pricing and bonuses. Just click the button that says, "Yes, I want in," on this page before it's too late. We look forward to helping you achieve financial independence and finally exiting the rat race. Okay, thanks for joining us here today. We look forward to hearing about your success stories.
Hi, Andy Tanner here. Welcome, welcome. My first order of business, a huge thank you to the folks at Rich Dad World. I've known them for so many years now. Wonderful relationships and friendships with that entire team. And so I thank them for having me. It's always a privilege and a blessing to come and share some of the things I've learned about investing. And today, what we're going to speak about entrepreneurship. As you know, it's my habit to always welcome you and congratulate you for tuning in. I get a little tired of, I bet you have friends and family that talk a lot and complain about having a job and want to get better. And then when they get an invitation, actually learn something, all of a sudden they're too busy. So the fact you're here and the fact you invested in yourself with some time today says a lot about you. Congratulations for being here. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Andy Tanner. I'll do a quick introduction. Most people know me because of my book, Stock Market Cash Flow, that was part of the Rich Dad Advisor series. I was a Rich Dad advisor for many, many years and traveled with Robert and Kim Kiyosaki. Nowadays, I'm a basketball coach for my kids. I stay home, I don't travel much, and I've got about 4 years left with the kids here. I'm not going to miss any of that, and then maybe we'll go out and travel again when the kids have flown the coop. But I still enjoy teaching, and I way enjoy learning. And today, Rich Dad World said, "Hey, Andy, would you share some thoughts on entrepreneurship?" And that's an exciting thing. There's certainly entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates that are a lot better out than I am. But I have been able to fail my way forward to have a little bit of success in business. So what I'm going to do today is going to share some of the things I wish I'd have known when I'd have started out, that if I was to tell my sons and give them advice, I'll share with you some of the things I'm sharing with them. First of all, there's never been a better time to decide to be an entrepreneur. I mean, the technology we have, the reach we have, the ability to get out in front of people with technology is like way better now than when I started. It's fantastic. So if you have that fire and you want to go out and start something, you are in an environment today that is fabulous. So first of all, let's talk about this. Many people feel the excitement and the drive. I want to own my own business. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to go out and make things happen, but I don't know what to do. I don't have a business. I don't have a product. So the first thing I would tell my sons is this. I'd say, well, let's do a little exercise together and let's find $1 million idea. Generally, you can find $1 million idea that's right for you, in about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Get a piece of paper and write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 12, you do 16, and write down 4 of your favorite activities. Just write them down. Maybe you love to read. Maybe you love to golf. Maybe you love sports. Maybe you love theater. Maybe you love cooking. Whatever it is, write down the 4 things you enjoy doing the most. Secondly, write down 4 successful people that you know that you wish you could be like. Write down 4 people that have a business that you wish you could have, right? And then the third one, this third list of 4 is a little tough. When I've done this in workshops, people have kind of struggled with this a little bit. This is a toughie, but if you can do it, there's gold in there. It's hard for me to do. Write down 4 of your personal strengths. That's tough for some of us to do, to say, hey, I'm good at these 4 things. Well, I wrote down some of my favorite activities. One of my favorite things to do is to learn and teach. I looked at people that I know, like Robert, who became a great teacher. And I said, what are my personal strengths? Well, that was a real short list for me. I thought, well, I'm 6'8". I can change a light bulb. That's a personal strength. I can change your light bulb. I thought, if you're the type of person that celebrates the holidays with a tree, I can put a star in your tree. That was one I put on there. And I thought, and then there was another one that I wrote down, and I had other people tell this to me. They said, Andy, you're not the brightest bulb, but when you do understand something, you have this ability to make this way simple. So I wrote that down. I know how to make things simple. Well, I will tell you this, if you wrote down you enjoy books, there's some money in books. You know, I've actually sold books before. There's money in that. If you like cooking, there's money in that. There's other people, millions of them, that like to do the same thing you like to do. There's a business idea there. It's just time to go out and do it. When you look at your personal strengths, there are things all of us have equal but different talents we've been giving. When you can lock into your talent, you'll probably make better use of that than a boss will. Don't you agree? On that paper, if you do that exercise over and over and over, you're going to hit $1 million idea. Now it's just a matter of going to work. Now, once I have an idea, people always say, well, how do I start? Where do I go? What do I do? First of all, get a coach, right? Find someone who's done it and begin to talk to them. I didn't know what an accountant to get, so I asked a guy that was in the same business, who's your accountant? And I hired him. And I built myself a team and got going. Now, here's a big one. And this is where what I learned from Rich Dad, Poor Dad was key. This is what guys and teams at Rich Dad World can teach you to really benefit you. And it's this. Well, I mean, money to start with. I don't have any money. It takes money to make money. I don't have any money to start with. Baloney. You have things that are way more powerful than money. Obviously, you can raise capital. That's the number one skill of an entrepreneur. The ability to get other people to invest in you. That's what syndication real estate investors do. That's what entrepreneurs do. There's no question about that. But you know what? I actually started several businesses with nothing at all. You see, money is about ideas. If you had the best idea, would you really need money to get started? If you had an idea that was stellar, don't you think other people would be interested in sharing that with you? As long as you're unselfish, you've probably got a good shot. I'll give you an example. One of the very first companies I started was a little before its time. It was a company called familyparade.com. And it was before we had the term social media. The internet had just been invented by Al Gore, supposedly. And I thought, you know, all these people are talking e-commerce. Wouldn't it be cool to just have a page for families where I could share what my family was doing and share what things were doing? So in 1997, I started a company called familyparade.com where you have your own little page and put your face this thing. It's almost like, you know, if there was a book with faces on it, you could do this. And the problem was we didn't have cell phones yet. So I was telling people, yeah, scan your pictures and put them on there. And I remember trying to raise money with this. And I was in Phoenix, Arizona, at a group of investors in a meeting. And I says, hey, I've started this company. It's called familyparade.com. And you can put your family on there and connect with your friends. And everyone's going to know what you're doing all the time. And the soccer game and all that's going to go on. The guy goes, Mr. Tanner, why would I want to put a picture of myself on the internet? I just, you know, oh my gosh. And so that company failed, you know, and I don't have any illusions that a guy like me, there was, you know, pretty soon there was MySpace, and then there was Facebook, and then there was all the others that have come since then. I was the only guy with that idea, but here's what was neat. I started with no money. I went to a programmer. I said, look, I don't have any money to hire you, but if we make it, I'll give you part of my business. I'll give you part of this idea. And I had it written out, and he says, done. Went to a friend that was a marketer. And I said, hey, I don't know much about marketing, but I think if we had someone to build it and someone to market and someone to lead it and get the ideas going, we could have a company. Well, we made some money and we got going, and pretty soon MySpace came out, we got crushed. But I'll tell you, I started a company. We had money come in. People, you know, gave us their cash for what we were doing, and we had a business. It failed. But here's what's beautiful. I got partners out of that. And so when the next business came along, I went to my same marketing friend. I said, hey, should we give it another shot? And we started another business, again, with talent and ideas, no money at all, no money at all. So if you think that money is your issue, rethink that. It's the quality of your idea. Now, oh, someone already has my idea. Someone already has, I want to do this, but you know, I want to start an Amazon, but Amazon's already that, blah, blah, blah. That's Blair's little voice, blah, blah, blah. Write this down. I wish I'd have known this when I first started out as an entrepreneur. Write this down. Be 10% different or 10% better. Look, Wendy's hamburgers are hamburgers. They're square. McDonald's hamburgers are round. They're 10% different. It's all beef. It's all garbage. It's making me fat, clogging my arteries. Burger King will flame broil. It's all garbage. But guess what? They're just 10% different. So for some people, they think it's 10% better. There's so much to know about entrepreneurship. No one does it alone. Build a team for sure. Build a team around you. Get coaches, get people that can help you learn how to write a business plan. There's a wonderful book, the Rich Dad that Robert wrote called Rich Dad's Guide to Investing. It's probably somewhere on my shelf right about in here somewhere. And it talks about something called the BI triangle. You start with a mission. Who do you want to serve? The more people you serve, the more effective you become. You have a leader, you have a team, you have cash flow, right? You have communications, you have systems, you have legal. Your product is the smallest part of this process. So there's some thoughts on entrepreneurship. Fail, be willing to fail. I remember someone told me, I was a baseball player and I used to strike out a lot when I was a kid. And I remember someone said to me, Andy, 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. And, the chance of being successful in business is not that good. And I thought, 80% of businesses fail. That means that if I'm willing to do this 10 times, I got 2 home runs. Are you kidding me? I only have to do this 10 times. If I only 80% fail, it means if I only have to try this 10 times and on my 10th or 8th one, heck, maybe it comes on the 3rd one, done. I'm in 100%. As you look at your life, get outside that box. I'm kind of a patriotic guy. And I think of all the people that sacrificed to build the nation I live in that's free. And I have the opportunity to serve as many people as I want. Most people in the world never had that chance. They were either a peasant or a slave or whatever. We have this freedom to serve others, to use our minds, to use our creativity. We have technology all around us. Let that opportunity and that entrepreneurial spirit come out in you. Be willing to fail because you'll learn so much from failing. Learn that money comes from ideas, not just salesmanship. There's so many things you can learn to do. So those are just some things I would share with my sons. There's so much more. We could talk about this for hours, but get an idea that has to do with what you love, that someone you can model and one of your personal strengths. Find out whether you want to raise capital or whether you want to share in your business with people that will work with you. Either way will work. Make sure you're okay with failing. Make sure you're okay with saying, hey, I tried this thing. I put in all this time. I've done more businesses than I can count. I was telling my sons all these debacles I've had, but each one will give you experience and it's worth it. When you finally hit that dinger, it's worth it. And even if you don't, then you have to go to your grave saying, well, I never tried. I think that's what I'm most pleased about is even though all the businesses I started didn't work out, enough did, but even more importantly, I gave it a shot. I didn't sit there and wait and think, well, I wish I would have, could have, should have. So again, thank you for all the guys at Rich Dad World for having me. I'm not the best entrepreneur in the world. You can learn from Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and read books and all these incredible people that have had more success than I have. But I do know that even the little guy can have enough success that it'll bless your life. So with that, a big thank you to Rich Dad World. Again, I'm Andy Tanner, and we'll see you next time.